Hi guys, welcome back to Rampant Lion Reviews once again. For this video we have quite a special one. We've brought two beer tubers out of retirement for this.
Yeah.
So, yep, Casey and Eric from...
Hey guys.
Yep.
From the formerly Akihabeera.
Yeah.
Sotogami Akihabeera. I always enjoyed reviewing their beers, so in the comment section below, help me out. I've been trying to pester them to resurrect it again, but yeah, a little bit stubborn, but yeah. Eric is enjoying the Japanese work life. So,
enjoying is the right way to say it, yeah.
So, yeah, no, but it'd be great to see you guys back on YouTube at some point.
One day we'll just have, like 20 years from now, we'll just bring it back and it'll be famous and popular all over.
After we're dead, we'll have like posthumous releases, sort of like a Tupac situation where it's just like constant studio outtakes.
We'll call it Tupac Akihabeera.
Oh god.
Oh, that's why we stopped that.
Oh, some of these names, man. Some of these names. But yeah, so yeah, I'm back. As you've seen from the last couple of videos, I'm back in Japan. So you've been seeing a few Japanese beer reviews and things like that. And I thought, it'd be nice to bring some Nordic beers for these guys to try. So basically, we're going to do around the Nordics in 5 beers. Obviously, Greenland and the Faroe Islands, and I guess Åland as well. We can't really represent those countries. I could maybe have got a Stallhagen beer, but I unfortunately didn't have time to bring that one. So yeah, representing Finland, we have a barley wine, the Winter Warmer, from Malmgårdin Panimo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. From Norway, we have the Akevitt Porter from Drammen there. So we also have from Sweden, Omnipollo, the Noa, which is a really famous beer, Imperial Stout. From Amager Bryghus in Denmark, we have Frederiksen, and that is probably one of my favourite beers that I've ever reviewed. I really like this one. Nice. And from Iceland we have the Surtur, which is a smoked imperial stout from Borg Brugghús. So yeah, I think 5 very good beers. This is a really nice brewery, the Finnish one. Finnish beer is pretty much like gold dust. So yeah, some really interesting things. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's because Finland's not a real country, right? It's just a
pretend place.
Yeah,
is that the one with the hoax?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's where they have to, they go out and they look after their woods, like hoovering up.
Oh, that's right.
The woods. And
that's right.
Like that.
That's why they don't have fires.
Yeah,
very topical.
They're very good. They're very good at managing their
forests. At sweeping the floors. Yeah.
I love the Finns. I think the Finns are like the Scots, genetically insane. They're brilliant people. Any Finnish people you meet are always very good fun, I think.
Nice.
Always had good fun with the Finns. But yeah, Malmgårdin Panimo, they're based on an estate basically. It's the Kreutz family, and it's the 13th generation of the family that's running this just now. They started brewing 2009, it was, and they're kind of based halfway between Helsinki and the Russian border, and I think they're producing around 500,000 litres a year, something like that.
Wow.
So fairly kind of medium-sized operation, but pretty much I've had a couple of beers from Finland and they've all been really good, but the main issue is it's actually cheaper for them in Finland to import the American beers and to sell the American beers than it is for them to brew their own, because the taxes makes it almost really
it just needs to be like it's old laws that need to be updated or whatever. And
pretty much, yeah. I mean, they've got, in fact, that's a good point actually, in all of these countries except Denmark, you have a government monopoly on alcohol sales.
Oh, interesting.
So in Sweden you've got Systembolaget, in Norway you've got Vinomonopolet, you've got Alko in Finland, and you have Vinböden in Iceland. And yeah, the government, if it's over a certain percentage, and the percentage is different for each, in Sweden it's 3.5%. Anything above 3.5% has to be sold by Systembolaget. I think in Finland it's anything above 5. I've got a feeling in Norway it's anything above 4, and I can't remember what it is for Iceland. But yeah, only the Danish one, only Denmark has a free market on alcohol out of these two. So yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, will we crack on with our first one?
Let's do it. Yeah, we've got a journey in front of us, so let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, so yeah, this guy comes in at 10.2%. This was released, this is basically their winter beer, and from what I remember, it's
their winter beer.
Yeah, winter. But yeah, from what I remember, this is more of a kind of English style barley wine rather than an American one. I've always found the American ones are a bit sweeter and fruitier, whereas the English one's a little bit more bready and toasty and stuff like that. So interested to see what you guys think.
Yeah.
Have you had a finished beer before, or a I don't know if you guys ever reviewed a barley wine, did you?
We've reviewed a couple barley wines.
Barley wine, but definitely not a finish anything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing I've ever had. Like you said, it's quite like finished beer is quite hard to come by, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this one, from what I remember, is
That's lovely.
really quite nice. Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, no, this one I remember really liking this beer. So I'm curious to see what you guys think of it as well. Oh, there you go.
Ooh, thank you, sir.
And yeah, we'll leave a little bit for
The sippy cup samples.
the sippy cup samples. Yeah.
The angel share.
Or we can do a dirty pint. But yeah, so yeah, colour of this one, what do you think?
That's like, I keep expecting it to get lighter if I hold it up to the light, and it just doesn't.
It's almost like dark, like a real dark brown red.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know, kind of chestnutty mahogany.
Oh, you have a better vocabulary than I do.
We're just we're out of practice.
We were never in practice.
I do apologise for the coughing in this video. My throat apparently has HIV or AIDS or
driving is crazy.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that brings them down to our level.
Asian bird flu. I don't know, but yeah, no, nice beer. What do you think?
I mean, it smells great.
Kind of a lot of brown sugar, I think.
Yeah, it smells sweeter than I thought it would.
There's a lot of, I doubt it's picking up on the camera, but just the number of bubbles, how it's just so uniform along the bottom there. Just so many and so small. It's like, just seems like a lot cleaner than a lot of beers. Maybe it's just your fantastic pour or this glass, who knows.
But yeah, no, it's a little bit of head on it, but
yeah,
you know, looks really nice. But for me, nose is just a lot of brown sugar. A little bit of a woody.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, a little bit of red fruit maybe, I think as well. It's almost like a little bit kind of medicinally cough syrupy, I think.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. It's the the phenols that usually give
it's
you
a bit of Robitussin for you Americans.
This is why Robitussin.
Yeah, do you guys have that?
No.
Oh man,
it's a word I don't know.
that's the good stuff.
But yeah, let's get stuck into this one.
Yeah.
Thing.
Right.
So yeah,
do you got the cheers for each country?
Keepis for Finland.
Keepis.
Yeah. Slanju, Skull, Kampai.
Whoa.
Wow, yeah, that's drier than I thought it would be. Interesting.
And like, it just keeps going on the flavors. I went through a whole journey in one beer. We didn't need 5.
Yeah. You can see why they call it a winter warmer though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we send this up to the production crew off camera so they can get a taste?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, just have a little sip of this guy.
It's interesting, like, I don't think I'd be able to... This is one of those beers where it's just, there's so much going on, it's so complicated, and it's like real heavy. I don't think you'd be able to have a lot of this, but it's really delicious to just have a little bit. And a sippy beer that you can enjoy.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely big kind of... It's just definitely a big sort of medicinal thing, isn't it? It's a lot of, you know, basically a lot of brown sugars, big and boozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of what you'd expect from a barley wine. I mean, for me, I think it's, you know, the darkness of the flavour that it has. Like the brown sugars are quite dark.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's almost well fired, I think is a good way to describe it for me. That's what makes it an English barley wine rather than an American one. Because the American ones are it's just very sweet.
I was going to say, like, I'm used to American barley wines being a bit syrupy. This is definitely not like that. It's like not gritty, but like weedy, grainy, and like kind of like dry.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense
when you alcohol taste.
That makes a lot more sense when you compare it to like that dry comment to syrupy, because it's like whatever the opposite of syrupy is. It's like, kind of a not powdery,
it's
but
really pleasant though.
Yeah. I know, and that's the one thing I think is a real shame about. I'd love it if Finland could reform their laws. I mean, they've got a really beautiful beer, if I remember right. It's called Plevnan Siperia, and I think they class it as an imperial stout, but it's honestly it's more like a black IPA. It's like a heavily hopped stout, and it's seriously one of the best sort of black IPA type beers I've had. It's really, really nice. If I could, that's probably the one I would have picked for you, but this was the finished one that was available to us. But yeah, no, the Plevnan Siperia is really good, so if you ever come across that beer, I really would look at it. There's also some really good, there's also a really good one called Priekmeister as well, which is, it's called a Sati. It's a very, very smoked beer.
Okay.
But in Sweden they're called Gotlandsdrink. It's this big bready, smoky kind of thing, but it's different from like the German beers that we tried in the last video you guys were in. So yeah, it's a really interesting one. That the smoked beers seem to be quite popular in the Nordics as well, really. So yeah.
That makes sense. And like when you think about the beers up north, they all seem to kind of, not necessarily the same as this, but kind of fit this profile. And I wonder, does a lot of that come from just the cuisine of the area, and like it just kind of, there's flavor matching going on, or the average temperature, or like, because you don't really see a lot of other beers in the opposite way. You go south and there's almost nothing but lager or whatever, you know, just the real light beers. Do you think it's just the further north you go, this is the sort of thing where it just seems natural that this is the kind of beer they'd make?
Well, yeah, no, I think the traditional beer styles in the Nordics do tend to be dark.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they make, in fairness, like there's breweries in each of these countries. Amager Bryghus really make a very mean IPA, and so, you know, Omnipollo are capable of that too. But yeah, no, like the Nordic, there's some really good IPAs out there from certain breweries, like Stigbergets in Sweden are very, very good as well. To be honest, I picked the dark beers because they're the ones that travel the best. You don't have to worry about them being fresh. That was why I chose these ones.
Good call.
And yeah, these two stouts here, all four of those are very, very nice beers, and the barley wine as well. But yeah, no, some really good IPA breweries. But the main reason the beer is so good in the Nordics is it's a culture of home brewing. Because the laws are so strict, people brewed their own, and because the taxes are so high, they start brewing their own beers, and the quality, to be honest, I would always say that Copenhagen's one of the best beer cities in the world, but Gothenburg isn't too far behind either. And I don't know much about Finland. It's we don't hear too much about the Finnish beer scene, to be honest with you. But I would assume it'd be the same. There's probably a big underground of homebrewers in Finland, because of how their laws, I think, are the strictest out of all the Nordic countries.
When you say strict laws, it's not laws against homebrewing, is it? Or
I think it's more just about alcohol sales and things like that. Like, I mean, the shops are only open from like 10 till 6 and things like that, and it's stuff like that on the Saturday. Like in Sweden, on Saturday it's only 10 till 2 and things like that. You've only got 4 hours to buy your booze on the Saturday. Then it's not open until the Monday again. So it's stuff like that. But yeah, just very, very strict, unfortunately. But yeah, last thoughts on this one then?
This is great. If this is the start of the journey, I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was surprising, actually, for how different it was. So like you were saying, how different it was to the barley wines that I'm used to. It was quite nice.
Well, yeah, no, lovely, lovely beer, that. So, round 2 then?
Yeah, let's do that, yeah.
Okay, so for this one then, we'll move on to Norway. So yeah, we're kind of working up from barley wine to porter and then into the imperial stouts. So for this one, we're going to go to Haandbryggeriet, they're from Drammen, which is a little bit to the southwest of Oslo. This brewery, I want to say it was 2005 they started. They're quite a wide export brewery. You can actually, the beer shop that I go to in Osaka, liquor store Asahiya, they actually had a few of the Norwegian beers.
Oh, interesting.
Or a few of the Haandbryggeriet beers. They're quite a well-known Norwegian export brewery. And yeah, they're just very good. I mean, I've never ever had a bad beer from these guys. Really, really nice. But they were started by 4 guys. The company's been restructured because they're down to 2 of them now.
Oh wow!
And I think I've got a feeling they're producing around like 350,000 litres a year.
Wild. 2 people, and they're exporting all across the world and making 350,000 litres. That just seems like a lot of work for 2 guys.
Yeah, no, I mean it's the 2 owners.
Oh,
2 owners of like there's 2 of the 4 owners. 2
they have
of
a
the
staff of tiny dogs that do most of the work.
Well, dog brew.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the Huskies out. But yeah, no, these guys, it's a brewery that I really rate. But this is a really interesting beer because it's aged in Akevitt barrels. Do you know what Akevitt is?
No.
Do not.
It's a kind of, it's basically a Nordic schnapps, and it's very, very unusual. It's kind of like this, it's got a very kind of herbal and unique flavour. It's something that you have to just really try for yourself, and maybe that's something I can bring for the next time, is bring a little bit of Akevitt and let you try it.
Yeah, interesting.
It uses special barrels. It's unique to Denmark. It's got a slightly different name. It's spelt differently in each of the different languages. This is the Norwegian spelling, Akevitt, they would say. I think in Danish they call it Akvavit, and in Swedish it's Aquavit, I think, as well. But yeah, no, this one's it's a porter aged in these barrels, and from what I remember with this one, you get a really sort of herbally kind of a backbone to a very solid porter. So yeah, and Haandbryggeriet, of course, is just as you think hand. So
there you go. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Cool.
So yeah, ready?
Ready. Let's try
So
it.
yeah, this guy comes in at 7%. So I think this is actually by quite a bit the lightest of the beers that we've got.
It's a good sophomore beer then.
Yeah.
You know.
Lightest
Quite hold up.
So you pointed at me when he said something. What were
Oh,
you
I thought he said
for?
hairball at first, and I was gonna make a big dog
I thought he
joke.
said hairball too. I was like, this beer is a hairy beer.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, James's like vocabulary is so far beyond. I had no idea you could use
I was
hair to
just
describe
like-
the flavor of beer.
We made a dog joke earlier. Now we can make another dog joke.
Oh yeah, because you guys say herbal, don't you? Right?
We do say herbal. Yeah.
We dropped the H for some reason because we don't know how to speak English.
That's the one moment where we're linguistically cultured. That's it. That one word.
Yeah. You guys a little bit.
Ooh, thank you, sir.
We got the scotch there.
Yeah.
Thank you, kind.
And then we can.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
pass
Send
on.
it around.
Pass on the angel's share.
Yeah. All right. So.
Oh wow, this one's just black as
Solid
night.
black,
Nothing's
yeah.
going through that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The smell's not as strong either. Like it's just like keeping to itself all the way
Nice, like,
around.
light head on it.
It smells nice though.
Almost like cola or something.
I mean, nice little bit. It's just a kind of beigey head, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I always describe these black beers as being like ebony, because it always reminds me of the fingerboards on guitars and things.
Oh,
They
yeah,
dark
yeah.
ebony, or I guess the other thing you can say is like Coca-Cola coloured.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I could see. Yeah, it's like, but it's almost like just too dark for Coca-Cola.
Yeah. No, it's a really. It's just pretty much as black as you're going to get.
Right.
Black as night. But yeah, no, I mean, if you take the thing with the smell of this one is if you really take this one in quite deeply,
Okay.
because then you'll get the you know,
The dog.
Deeply.
Yeah, you'll get
You really get the hairball essence.
yeah. Do a lot of innuendos with that.
Yeah.
I thought that's why you had the grin.
Take it in deeply.
Yeah, but you see, you get that really herbal thing from this,
Yeah.
and it's that's Akevitt is a very hard thing to describe if you've not tried it. Sort of thing. It's just it's a very it's a very just this kind of special type of schnapps, to be honest. It's a very kind of herbally.
Interesting.
type
I hope
schnapps.
it comes through on the taste because I'd really like to. This intrigues me. I'd like to know more about the aquavits or.
Can I hope I can use the word floral to describe the way this beer tastes. I'm saving that. That's in my pocket right now. Floral.
Floral.
Alright, what do we got? What's the compi here?
So yeah, for Norway it's just skull.
Okay, well yeah. Yeah, okay.
Skull.
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 Whoa.
Wowza.
Yeah, that's a riot.
Yeah.
That like coats your entire mouth.
Mm.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Yeah, if someone just like if Casey gave me this, I'm pretty sure I would think he'd put like paint in my lager or something like that. He was like trying to poison me. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's nice though. Really.
Yeah.
Poison's not the paint.
I don't mean that it tastes like paint to be like a put down. I'm not trying to dunk on the beer.
You nag beer to compliment it. Such a pickup artist.
But yeah, no, it's just it's a nice one. I mean, I think it's a very, very solid porter. I mean, it's got pretty much everything you want from a porter.
It almost doesn't seem like a porter to me. It seems like there's just a bit. I guess I just normally think of porters as being a bit tamer.
Mm.
And this is not.
Mm.
It's really smoky.
Lighter body than I expected based on the color.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to make of the flavor. I am disappointed that I'm not able to say that it's floral. But I literally don't have the vocabulary to describe what this is. Like, I guess herbal, so let's default to that. But
yeah, no, I think it's it's for me, this one, the Akevitt comes out a lot more in the aftertaste.
Okay.
I'd say, and it's the Akevitt's that big herbal sort of just after. I mean, if you think, to me, it comes out like sort of right in the middle of your palate, just maybe a little bit more towards the front.
Yeah, I'm getting that for sure.
And it's that's the kind of flavour you get from Akevitt. It's this very herbally kind of schnapsy type thing.
Yeah.
This one for me is more like, this kind of tasted like Robitussin, but this for me is more medicinal in like.
I definitely get more medicinal out
right,
of this.
and sort of like the way that people feel about licorice that don't like black licorice.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like what it's like, that sort of like herbalness.
You're in for a treat with these, with a couple of these then, because one thing you really notice about the Nordic dark beers is the Swedes and the Norwegians and the Danes, they absolutely love licorice. It's basically a state. To be quite honest, with the Nordics, I'm surprised there's not more people that are diabetic.
Oh really?
You should see the pick and mix stores there. It's
dude.
unreal.
I can't. I love that shit. So I'm considered a freak amongst most Americans, because most Americans.
Well, you are.
Like,
you're a freak.
Yeah. But like, that's awesome. I love those things. So like, I hear about pick and mix, I'm like, oh man, that sounds great. Like a tiny slice of Nordic heaven.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this one is, I think, it's got like a nice sort of roasty black malt backbone to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, the thing that was always different with the porters was the porters are lighter in the mouthfeel than the stouts, I would say.
Yeah,
and that's,
for sure.
For me, that's the main difference, is the porters are just like I mean, it's kind of like the German Schwarzbiers a little bit.
Okay.
It's the English equivalent of the German black lager, basically. Yeah.
This one's fantastic, though.
Yeah.
This is great.
I just thought this was a really kind of unusual one that you'd...
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, because if you ever come across it, that same brewery, they've got a beer called Norwegian Wood, and it's that one's one of these ones that's it's an old Norwegian farmhouse ale, so very, very kind of woody and things like that. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Hairball.
Anyway, I suppose we can get a last little chug each, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, one for yourself. Yeah.
No, thanks. There we go.
No.
Oh, this is a true gentleman. The quality level there.
Skull.
Skull.
All right. Okay, so Sweden's turn then. So Omnipollo this time. So this is one
This would be the local beer almost. Like Omnipollo has a pretty good presence here in Tokyo. They have a bar here.
They do.
They do.
I didn't know that shit.
Sorry,
can I swear on this channel?
Absolutely.
They opened up a bar. It's in for. I mean, there's no better way to describe it. It's in Shibuya, and it's basically smack dab in the middle of Love Hotel Hill.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
So
that's wild. I didn't realize that.
I actually had no idea they had a bar over here either.
As I'm thinking about it, I'm hoping I'm really not confusing it with a bunch of other places like
Not
OL and
right?
McKellar. McKellar might be the Love Hotel Hill one.
Now, as someone who had to edit half of the Akihabeera videos, I will say...
This is why.
This is why, because sometimes Casey says things and then you go back and they're not true.
That might actually not be true. OL is... OL and Omni... I don't know. The Omnipollo has a big presence here. I know that much.
Okay.
But maybe there's no beer here. No bar. I don't know.
Because I know that
check yourselves.
I know that Mikkeller they did have a bar originally.
Yeah.
And I think you guys said that was like a pop-up bar, and then it disappeared, and now they've reopened it properly.
It's like
they have a nicer
They
one
had a bar, and there was they couldn't come to an agreement with the landlord, and so or something like that, and they left. And so it is. I'm hoping. I don't know.
There's another bar in that space now. That
and
does
that
the
is
same style
definitely
of
OL. But
what is it? OL?
OL.
Is that? And then there's like an actual McKellar bar in another part of Shibuya. I was there a few months ago.
Yeah.
It totally exists.
So was I, but it was an Ichikai. So I don't remember much.
So I thought it was Omnipollo.
It might be.
Alright, in any case.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, no, Omnipollo, two guys, Carl Grandin, Henrik Fentie. Carl Grandin's a clothing designer.
Oh, wow.
So he designs all these labels,
Sweet
obviously,
labels.
you know, very unique style
Yeah.
of artwork. Henrik Fentie is the home brewer. He's Ethiopian by origin.
Nice.
But I don't know if he was born in Sweden or whatever, but yeah, Ethiopian background. And he goes over to Ethiopia and does different charity things and stuff, from what I understand. So yeah, he's meant to be a very nice guy. I've never met him actually. But another gypsy brewer, they brew most of their beers. This one, the dark stout beers, are brewed at Brugghus Brewery, which is in Gothenburg, just outside of Gothenburg. They brew a lot of beers at the De Proef Brouwerij in Locriste Heifte, which is Ghent in Belgium, and that's where Mikkeler and a lot of the other gypsy brewers, Toil, brew a lot of their stuff there as well. But yeah, gypsy brewery. You know, the thing that these guys do with their beers is they put flavour essence in them. So this is how they get all these, you know, peanut flavours and all this, because some of their beers, it's very interesting though, because some people don't like that. You get a lot of purists when it comes to brewing. So some people say, yeah, Omnipollo, you know, they're cheating a little bit, but then at the same time, to actually make the perfect base beer to complement that flavour essence, it's kind of an art in themselves. And if you try their beers that they do that are very straight up, you know, they're really damn good anyway.
That's a big thing that a lot of people, I don't think, take into account. It's kind of like backseat driving, where they're just like, well, it's not a pure beer, and like, do you know how hard it is to make good beer? Like, you can't just take a bad beer and put in a flavor essence and make it good. Like, it has to be a good beer to begin with, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've tried. These guys have got a really nice place in Stockholm that does pizza and beer, and you can try there all the beers that are brewed really fresh. They're New England IPAs. The straight up ones are really nice. That one that you tried, the Nebuchadnezzar, the West Coast IPA. I really like that one.
Fantastic. That was great.
Nice beer. And they've done a couple of straight up imperial stouts recently that have been really interesting. There was one of the best ones I had was, I think it was called Outside the Lines, and it was with Trillium from America that they did that.
I think I've seen that one before. That one sounds familiar. I don't know if I've ever had it, but I know I've seen it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, beautiful beers, these ones. This one is kind of the kind of...
I love the design, just like, it's not even, it's just like on, it's not even a label, it's just right on the bottle there, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, this one is probably this is actually a regular member of the range in Systembolaget now, so pretty much in any decent sized Systembolaget store in Sweden you can get this. But yeah, this one's comes in at 11%, and this is described as pecan mud pie imperial stout.
That sounds fantastic.
So,
I'm ready.
Just right on
My body is ready.
Yeah, very, very sweet stout, this one. So yeah, I won't keep you waiting anymore for this. Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope I'm not being favouriteist with who gets a pour first.
No.
Go.
Thank you.
Ooh, thank you, Tim. The only favoritism you're doing is pouring yourself last. You can pour yourself in the middle. That's fine.
It's all good.
Or first.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's the one thing you can't do. Don't do that one.
I was ready to tackle you.
I like to water down my beer.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that just gets even darker than the last one, huh? And much like thicker. Ooh, thank you, Zach.
There we go.
That is like...
Sippy cup for...
Alright.
That is like...
Can we bring the bottles back as well?
It pours like motor oil.
Yeah.
Whoa,
you can kind of see, so there's two drips on the table.
It's totally different.
One from the porter and one from this one, and the change in shade of brown is marked. Like there's one that's like almost the color of the wood table, and then this one that we're drinking right now, this Omnipollo beer, is like a dark brown.
I'm going to purposely just pour beer on your table for each one.
Yeah, we can actually get like a lineup of drips.
Yeah.
This smells absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
This is like heaven in a glass.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I take it you guys haven't had this one.
No. Definitely not.
Oh, that smells awesome.
But yeah, it's pretty much peanuts and
It
brownie.
smells like a pie. It's
it
crazy.
smells like marshmallows and...
Yeah. It smells like a s'more factory.
Like a s'more.
Yeah, peanuts.
I don't know why the factory has to blow up in my fantasy, but that's
because that's how you make it most delicious. It's all already cooked.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, but yeah.
And it's just super thick.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look how it just
it's like a caramel colored head just
like
around the outside.
Clings to the side of the glass. takes a minute for it to come down. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Okay,
Can
what
we
do
do this
we
now?
got here?
But yeah.
What's
This is Skull again.
Oh, this is still again.
Skull. Yeah.
Man,
So
the Nordics
Skull.
are so easy.
Yeah. Skull.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I assume I'm being rude if I'm just like, they all say skull.
They
They're
actually,
the same.
see, to be honest, they actually do.
So I thought so.
Yeah.
But if I say that, it's me being racist.
I think the Icelandic pronunciation's a little bit different. It's like skull,
Okay.
whereas it's more like skull.
We're
For these
uncultured
guys.
Americans, so it's fine. We can't pronounce anything
yeah.
right to begin with.
But I mean, the Finn. I guess in this lineup, the Finns are the odd one out, but their language is Finnish is crazy.
Right, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
a different jam.
Finnish and it's the Uric languages, so it's Finnish, Finnish and Estonian. They understand about 30% of each other, and then Hungarian for some reason is related to that.
Interesting.
And think how far away Hungary is from these other
Yeah.
places. But then, to be honest with you, Swedish, Danish, Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, it's really just a dialectal difference.
Right.
But to me, I can understand Danes when I listen to them. I can't reply to them.
Okay.
Well, I can reply to them and they understand me, but
Right,
I can't
right, yeah.
reply in Danish.
Danish,
Yeah.
So we can kind of understand each other, but Danish to me sounds distinctively more German. But
Huh.
Norwegian and Swedish they sound a lot closer. Norwegian's almost like a little bit more happy, sing-songy sounding.
Interesting.
Well, they have smiley
yeah.
faces on their
Yeah, look at that.
bottles.
Good
Oh yeah. The Swedes are the well, I don't know who's. I think it's the Finns that are supposed to be the happiest country in the world. I think yeah. But yeah, they go. It's quite funny. Estonia actually has the highest alcohol consumption in Europe, and it's because all the Finns and the Swedes take the ferry to Tallinn, buy the booze, and go home. So that's genuine. That is actually genuine.
Huh.
But yeah, the Finns are great. They're always good, very very good fun.
So the first thing that hit me with this was like how different I'm going to use the word mouthfeel, forgive me for my pedantry, but how different the mouthfeel was between, again, this porter and like this thing. It's like, it's immediately more like mass on your tongue when it lands on you. And it's almost like having chocolate pudding melt.
Oh,
in your
yeah.
mouth. It's very, very similar to like the length of time it takes
Like
for it to
chocolate
get
pudding
out
or
of you.
like the dark chocolate ice cream. Like,
Yeah, that's a really good way to think of
Rocky
it, yeah.
Road or something is just
Yeah.
melting on
That's
your
a
mouth.
great-
You're just
a great way to
letting it
think
sit
of it.
there.
Yeah, it's a very sweet stout, this one.
Yeah.
Because I chose this one for the middle because obviously we go from slightly hoppy to something that's dark but
Right.
lighter. This is the sweeter side of the stouts, and then we go into something that's a little bit more roasty, and then we go into something that's more smoky.
Then we,
Cool.
you know,
So yeah, but this one to me is just this is one of the sweetest imperial stouts
is
you're gonna
tremendous.
get. It's I'm surprised. I mean, this is one that you might be able to get a hold of in the next little while.
I
At
would
the
hope so.
imaginary
Hopefully.
Omnipollo bar in Tokyo, we can probably have this one.
yeah. See, if there was editing involved, I can pull out my phone and check.
Oh, we can still
And then be
check.
like, just cut it all.
Never say we're cutting this all out.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, take it this one gets a thumbs up as well.
This, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
like,
my favorite
This is
so
a dangerous
far.
one. I'm pretty sure like too many of these would just give me diabetes. This is so sweet.
Well, it's beautiful beer. That I mean,
Yeah.
you can feel when you go further into the aftertaste, it becomes a bit more like roasty toasty. But
That's almost perfect though. It does. It's like it starts off really sweet, like I think s'more is a good comparison. The flavor is a bit different, but it comes through, and then it like mellows out into a more just like sitting next to a nice fire on a winter evening, where it's just warm and not as sweet.
yeah,
What?
I think
But
it's,
yeah, there's something I'm trying to say there, but it's not coming out.
yeah,
But
it's good. It's just like it's just a really enjoyable beer. This one.
it really is.
I think this is what it's sort of the whole craft beer thing's all about. Though you do taste a few different things. I mean, you can sit and drink one of these by yourself, but I think to do a beer tasting.
Yeah,
is
share it
quite
with
nice.
people. I think
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to mention earlier, and I can't remember if we did last time, but you were mentioning how there's a big homebrewer scene in a lot of these places, and I think that's the biggest thing Japan's lacking. It's like, it's caught up a lot, especially since the last time we did a video together. It's been a couple of years, and Japan was starting to get better about good stuff, and they do have a lot of really good beers now, because for the longest time when craft beers started here, it was just 95% of them were just the German foreset of like the Weizen, the Pilsner,
You're on your own.
The Kolsch,
the Kolsch, and then the Dunkel or whatever, and like that's all they'd ever do.
And Alt is the other one.
Oh yeah, and the Alt, and they just like they'd never take any chances. And I heard a big part of that was just because there's no home brewing, and so no one's ever experimented. They've never tried stuff, so you can't really take that to. And there's another thing with the law here, where any beer you make, whether you plan on selling it or not, if you're a brewery, it gets taxed. And so no one wants to try experimenting with new stuff, because if they're paying for it no matter what, like even if you just dump it down the drain, they're like, well, let's just make safe stuff and push that out. It's gotten a lot better, especially in the past couple of years. Like there's some fantastic beers here now, but you're not going to find anything like this.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I noticed there's a couple of new breweries I've seen pop up. Uchu is one that I've heard, and they're doing a lot of New England IPAs. I
think I've seen that.
I think, yeah. That's on, I think, Koji liquor store Asahi has had a few of those. I've got one to review. Haven't tasted it yet, but they're supposed to be very good. But yeah, no, I mean, these big... There's not too many. I mean, there's not too many imperial stouts about. Probably the best one that I've had from Japan, I would say, is the Mino imperial stout.
Is absolutely fantastic.
And
they're one of the older ones too. Like they've been as far as
1997, I think it is.
Something like that. Yeah.
We went to the Mino warehouse the other day.
I saw that. Yeah,
cool,
jealous. I still haven't been.
Oh, you need to do that. But yeah, no. And the thing that's about that brewery as well is it's 3 women that run it. And
it's just 3 sisters. Yeah. It's like their dad was like, "Guy your brewery, go."
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Well, they rose to the challenge and then something.
Seriously.
But yeah, just a lovely big sweet imperial stout, this, isn't it?
Wow, man. Yeah, that's really good. I'm not really getting any hint of pecan.
I'm getting more like the raspberry jam on a chocolate cake. That kind of sweetness is like what's coming through. The pecan, not so much, but
I got a little bit of the nuts, but it's more, to me, this one really reminds me like brownie.
Yeah.
I don't get so much of the pie thing. To me, this one was always like a slightly nutty brownie.
Okay.
That's what I always got out of this one, I think.
Man, that's lovely though. Really.
It is.
But yeah.
It's fantastic. I end this beer with the face on the bottle.
Yeah, that's great. But yeah, so that's Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark's turn.
Okay.
Denmark,
so, yeah.
Let's do this.
So, as I said earlier, Copenhagen, for me, is... I mean, you can talk about Bamberg and Brussels and stuff like this, the traditional beer cities. I guess Czech Republic's a very good beer country, but in terms of craft beer, I think Copenhagen, in terms of this whole new wave American style stuff, I think Copenhagen's very, very difficult to beat. Gothenburg, I think, is catching up. Whether it will ever catch Copenhagen's a different story. But there's some amazing stuff going on there. But this is actually... Probably, it's one of my favourite Scandinavian breweries, and this is probably my favourite beer that I've had from them on the dark side of things.
Okay.
Probably my favourite beer on the light side of things was the Batch 1000, lovely like West Coast IPA. But I don't think they've brewed that in like a year or something like that. But yeah, this brewery, Amager Bryghus, and yeah, this is what I was saying about Danish earlier. It sounds like distinctively more German, but it's very throaty. So it's like you guys would maybe look at this and be like Amager.
Right.
It's an area of Copenhagen.
Amager.
But yeah, it's like but they say Amager.
Amager. Oh, we got that going, do we?
So Amager Bryghus. But yeah, this one was started, I want to say 2007. Because they recently had their 10-year anniversary. I was at the party for that.
Nice.
Cool. And it's 2 friends, Morten Lundsback and Jakob Storm. And both of them were at school together. They got made to do a chemistry and physics project. And they did
beer.
They did
physics.
Well, basically, yeah, no, they did it. They did like they wrote about the fermentation process in beer,
nice.
And it just kind of stuck with them from there. But when they started up their brewery, this guy, I don't know what his first name is, but Frederiksen really helped them.
Cool.
Do it. So they decided to name their beer after him, and this is one of the ones that really has been a kind of mainstay. And the thing that
Peter, I bet his first name was Peter.
Peter, I don't know if it says actually. Oh yeah, Peter. Yeah, there we go.
Yes,
did my research.
You can read what Danish.
It's all in English.
Oh, it's English.
Oh, word.
But the thing that's always cool about these bottles as well, is that they always give you like the malt bases. They always tell you what hops and things are in it. So like when you try it, and this is one thing I always do, is if it's a new hop, I'll always go and read about, oh, this is what you're supposed to get from it. And because I always find if you put if you put a certain hop in with the dark malt base, you get different fruits, and if you put it into an IPA, you get the like, different fruits. So it's really interesting. It's just a learning process.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah, no, I would say this is probably one of my top 5 or so, top 3, top 5 imperial stouts that you're going to find.
I'm very excited. Okay. I'm very excited for this.
And it's interesting, and I don't know. One thing I've always been interested about with this is whether it's maybe a nostalgia factor, but I've always found that when it comes, they brew a lot of really nice imperial stouts, but they're yet to beat this one. I think.
Okay.
They're yet to beat this. This is
that's
just,
probably why this is the one that keeps going, right?
Yeah, and it's, as I say, I don't know whether it's nostalgia or what it is, but there's things like Meat Killer Black Hole is another one, because it's a bit more kind of in between this and the Noa.
Okay.
It's got a bit of sweetness, but also a bit of the kind of roasty, toasty kind of side of it. But this one, I never said the percentage. This guy is coming in at, where is it? 10.5. So this is another monster.
You said earlier you can drink all these alone, but like no. Especially if you did a lineup, you're like, I'm just going to explore these 5 beers and wake up somewhere. Denmark's Orlando, right?
What?
Like, I always get confused. Orlando is
the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, but the Netherlands isn't actually the Netherlands. It's just a part of the country, or there's something like that.
Holland. Holland.
Oh, Holland. That's what it is. Holland
is one of the regions, and I think in Japanese it is Orlando.
It's Orlando, and so they're the one that always confuses me.
I was gonna watch yourself dig into a hole.
Like, everywhere else is like Swedish, Sweden, or whatever.
Right.
It's like, especially in Japanese, and you get the Dutch. But they're Holland or they're the Netherlands, and it's like I could never. I get confused there. I've never been there.
So we do have a new drip on the table.
Oh yeah.
We do.
This drip, I can't tell if it's this one or the porter from before.
This one's the new one.
Right.
This is
Frederiksen. At least the same color as
he did like a Godfather. He just took a bit and just that's for you.
Yeah.
So also like quite opaque and black.
Yeah. So again, nice big. Nice big kind of just again like really dark mahogany, ebony kind of colour. But
it's got a much tamer. Like it's not nearly as sweet as the Noa. Is that what the last one was?
Yeah. So with this one, the hops that are in this, we should say it's Tomahawk. Tomahawk is like one of the kind of standard bittering hops. So that gives you your floral, earthy kind of thing. And Centennial is kind of like a.
If it's Centennial in a lot of like American IPAs and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, Centennial's actually it's almost like a lemon sherbet kind of thing. It gives you this really nice lemony but quite floral sort of thing. But yeah,
smells fantastic. No, it's definitely a lot tamer than the last one.
Yeah, I don't know if you just inceptioned me or not, but like there's like a lemon. It's almost like a dark chocolate bar with like lemon peel in it or something like that. Is what it smells like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing it. It's just like I was talking shit, man. Isn't it? I could just say anything, believe it.
It's definitely got a little bit of kind of floral character about it. That kind of thing. I stole your word. Sorry.
That's alright.
But yeah, no, it's
pulled it right out of your pocket.
It says like this one can be aged 7 to 2023, and I'm guessing, probably. I think it'll be been bottled in July, so this one we're probably drinking it fairly fresh to be honest. So it will still have a bit of hoppy note to it.
It almost has like a weird like breakfast cereal sweetness. I can't explain it that well.
But I think this is one that I find that it balances the sweet and the roasty quite well. Yeah. And you can smell that in it.
I could definitely, just from the smell alone, I could tell we're like going. This was like the top of Sweets Mountain, and now we're going
back down.
We're still in the range of Sweets Mountain.
This smells like the milk that's left over after you eat a bowl of Cocoa Puffs.
There you go.
Oh, that's good.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
Yes, I got one.
That's good.
The theater of the mind.
Welcome to my theater of the breakfast cereal mind.
That's a really good description. Yeah.
Alright.
I did do this for a while.
This is why I keep saying you need to get back in the game.
Well, really only one of us needs to. The other guy doesn't come up with anything good.
I'm just gonna like basically I'll do the reviews and then in the lower right corner we'll just have Casey just like nod.
Oh, that'll be
just a
perfect for
gif of
Japan.
you
It's just my reaction to everything you say.
Right, yeah.
So
great.
So this name. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's I think earthiness, a little bit of earthiness, roasty black malts, standard thing. But you've got chocolate and brown sugar.
Yeah.
So I always find this one, it's a good balance between sweetness and the roasty, darker side of things as well. But yeah, so
Sure.
this, again, skull.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you see, with this one, I think you can see when we go from the sweeter side of things, you can feel the roastiness pushing.
Yeah,
its way
for
out
sure.
a bit more,
Yeah.
for sure.
And that's one of the big things. Like I said with the first one, and also with the third one, with the Noa, it's like it's a delicious beer, but it's like I don't know how much you can drink in a short period of time.
Yeah, I would have one of those.
Yeah, and
I would
like that's
go to
it.
sleep a happy man. That's
Yeah,
how
this
I
is
would
this
go
is
with
much
Noa.
more in that realm of you can sip on one of these or have a couple throughout the day sort of thing, and you just slowly enjoy it because like there's nothing overpowering is not the right word because there was nothing really overpowering in the last one, but it just like overloads the senses if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like this is much more down to earth.
Yeah, it
and
brings
like,
you back down
yeah.
to things. So yeah, it's almost we've kind of gone and had the, the orgasm in the middle, and then
Right.
we're kind
or
of
just, this is the cuddling, and then here's where we go to sleep.
yeah.
This is Kenja time. Right now.
It took me a minute. I thought you said Kendrick time, and I was like, yeah,
Kendrick time, let's go.
Need a little bit more in my life.
But see, this one for me is one of the kind of pinnacle, like Scandinavian stouts.
Mm.
I mean, for me, you can get a little bit of the licorice out of this one, and as I say, the Scandinavians love licorice. They
Yeah.
absolutely do, and it's
Good people.
something that's really grown on me
Yeah,
as well.
I
I really
believe
like
it.
licorice. Yeah, I hated it before I went there.
Brainwashing.
but then- yeah.
It's so good.
So it's those those communist social countries,
Yeah,
socialist
yeah.
countries that Trump
Oh.
likes to talk about.
Mm.
Communism makes me like.
Yeah.
So like this
Really
transition from Noa to this was really nice because like we were saying, this is like really sweet, and this is more of a pleasant like a dark chocolate bar, like a really
Yeah.
high like cacao percentage or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And a little bit of like the bitterness or like sourness on the sides of my palate. I don't know if that's like, I don't know how I want to describe it. Floral. I used it. There it is. Floral or or kind of lemony. That's quite nice.
To me, this one comes across as it's for an imperial stout. This is quite oily, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's in that oily. That's like almost. I always like using the term like oily bubble. You get like the brown sugars, you get the licorice, but you also it's almost like a slightly charred chocolate.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
Yeah. There's a whole line of sweets in Japan that's kind of like otona no chocolate.
Right.
And that's
It's
you
like
know,
chocolate,
for adults.
Yeah, so it's
And
less
that's exactly where this fits. It's got less sweetness and it's just more satisfying, I guess.
a fuller flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the. I guess that this beer is a little bit like a benchmark. I mean, in 2007, this is when everything's starting to kick off, and I think they would have introduced this around 2008, 2009, something like this. But yeah, this is when the whole thing was starting to kind of kick off. These guys always did their beers in half-litre bottles.
Oh, wow.
And they've only just
Nice.
gone down to the 330s recently
guys.
because it's export.
People
I
kept
think it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I do miss that you would go and buy one of these beers over in Denmark and you'd come back with this big half-litre IPA. I do miss that to some degree, but I can see, it's a business decision.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
sure.
And they want to get their beers further afield.
Yeah.
They've just moved to a new brewery close to the airport as well.
Oh, wow.
Wicked.
And but yeah, Amager Bryghus, I'd be surprised if you didn't see them in Japan soon. I don't think they've
Alright.
been here
Nah,
yet, but
see.
these guys are probably behind Toil and Mikkeller.
Okay.
And these guys are probably, the best known.
I'll be on the lookout now.
So-
Like, it's one of those things, what do you call it, the Bainer Meinhof, where it's like, if you've never seen them, you don't know, don't notice it. But
flies
now that you
under
know, it's just gonna it's gonna pop up everywhere.
No, I mean I really rate these guys. They've never put out a bad beer. I think the woman that's brewing for them now, she's Brazilian.
Oh wow,
actually.
cool.
And she brewed at Brewski in Helsingborg as well, who are another really good brewery. If you guys come across for the festivals one time, either Brewskival in Helsingborg or the MBCC, the McKellar Beer Celebration Copenhagen, and that's what I'd really recommend if you guys are coming to visit us. So yeah, but this is like one of this is what you expect from a Scandinavian imperial stout.
That's
a bit of roastiness.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Something you said earlier about it being oily struck a chord, only because like I don't know if this is what you're referring to or not, but like the sort of like a little bit of the sweetness, but also the roastiness like doesn't go away. Like it lingers in the way that like a spiciness from like a certain kind of like chili pepper would kind of like hang out in your mouth and you like can't get rid of it. It's like that. It's like sort of coating the inside of my mouth right now, and not in a bad way, but it's like hanging out, like just like olive oil or something really spicy would. So I thought that was interesting compared to
spicy olive oil.
Spicy olive oil. I mean that in a very positive way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like a little bit of the, almost like the earthiness and the roastiness. Just
I finished it a while ago and it's still there. I'm like, it's like, sucking on a toffee or something.
Yeah.
I had to finish that quick.
I was like, you wrap that sentence up.
You always wrap it up.
But I mean, for me, this is just a beautiful beer.
It is.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get this one for you, but then I was able to order it, and I was like, yes.
Nice, man.
That says a lot too. I mean, like just to give you a little bit of a ego wink. Like it says a lot. It says a lot too. Where it's just like it's incredible. Not only just everything so far, or like you're recalling information off the top of your head, just perfectly. The amount of time that we've we're reading it and we can't get it right in front of us, and then you organize this in such a way where it's like it's been beautiful. Like all the beers have complemented each other and like in such a good way. I wouldn't know how to drink these in the right order. Like sweet is sweet, let's go with that. It's most sweet. And then what? I don't know. And it's fantastic. And like there's got to be something amplifying the beer just in the order that you put it in, because we get to next to each other. They're like complementing each other in ways that I don't think we normally would have gotten if we just opened them.
What Casey's trying to say is you did a good job.
You're awesome. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, with this.
Well, it's nice. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's just sharing beers with pals, basically.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, isn't it? And I like this idea. I'm a bit, Greenland and the Faroe Islands. It's very difficult to find stuff from there. Ireland, a bit more difficult. But it's really cool to just share these from the kind of 5 big Nordic countries.
Yeah.
Because you guys are never going to find these. Maybe these 2 or these 3 right now. But I just wanted to pick things that were kind of, I guess, unusual for you. So
it also seems like getting into Japan, I've noticed a little bit. I mean, for the most part, just pulling it out of my ass. But it seems like, as with a lot of things in Japan, it's kind of like the who knows who sort of thing is another way. Because like there's a brewery that just popped up. It only started last year, like Revision Brewery, and it's out of my hometown. And my dad, when he came this last year, a couple months ago, and he brought a bottle. He's like, "Oh, this is a brand new brewery. It's awesome. Like, you gotta try it." And then we immediately, the first bar we go to, the craft beer bar, it's here already. In a year, they're already selling everything, and I see it everywhere in Japan. It's because like one of the dudes who runs it is from Left Hand, and like he left Left Hand.
Okay.
And so he's got it, but like he knows people here. He's already got the connection, so they're just immediately putting people out. So even if you're brand new, it's just like you throw it out there.
Oddly enough, seeing you mentioned Revision, I bought one of their beers from Koji the other day.
Right.
Cool.
And it's a collaboration with some Hawaiian brewery as well. But that'll be the first. No.
That's the only one I can think of.
Kona or?
No, it's not Kona. It's like Lokaha or something.
Okay.
It's another one of these sort of. Can you say ethnic names?
Mm-hmm,
One of these Hawaiian names. I honestly don't know, but I picked it because it was these 2 breweries. But that's the first ever beer from Nevada I've reviewed. I've never reviewed a Nevadan beer before.
Yeah, because Sierra Nevada is not from Nevada.
Right. Did you drink it yet, or like?
No, it's actually sitting in James Bond's fridge at home, back in Osaka.
Yeah.
But yeah,
sitting in the trash where it belongs. Well, like a lot of Nevada beers, most of them, there's some really good stuff back there, but none of it's really made it out. Like, I don't know. No one cares. I guess they just want to keep it local and keep everyone else away. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, will we move on to Iceland?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is a bit of a beast. And I've not had this beer, I think, in about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
But it's just one of these ones.
Last time he did, he was a hairless man, and by the time he finished it, that beard appeared and just never went away.
Yeah. Jim's actually 8 years old. He
was 4 when
this beer.
This is one that just
aged immediately.
Makes puberty race ahead.
Yeah.
Goes exponential. But yeah. So for this one, we are going to Borg Brugghús from Iceland. So this one is called Surtur Imperial Stout.
Okay.
What these guys do is they number all their beers, and this one's number 30. I think the original one that I reviewed might have had a different number because they tweak the recipe a little bit.
One of those, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but if you go through it, they've got one that I forget what it's called, but it's got the gay, the gay pride flag thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I forget, that was a sort of Belgian-y blonde ale, but I just got that because I was like, oh, it's gay pride, and it had the it had the writing upside down just to say, like almost fuck the system kind of thing. But yeah, these guys have got a whole host of different beers now, but this is actually the craft division of a bigger brewery. So the brewery itself is called the Egil Skallgrimsson Brewery. And it's that original brewery was founded back in 1913, and the main beer that they produce, if I remember correctly, is called Gull, and it's got a bird on it, as in gull, as in like seagull. It's kind of like that. I think they are based in the Reykjavik area. I mean, Iceland is it 320,000 people, something like that.
Jeez.
So there's in Iceland there's really not a lot of people, but
pretty sure that's this apartment complex.
But yeah, no, it's like it's about 2/3 of the population in Iceland is in the Reykjavik area in the southwest.
Oh wow!
And then it's a beautiful country. Though the Icelandic people are very, very nice. But these guys are definitely one of the more established kind of craft breweries. The head brewer, or the brewery itself, is named after Egil Skallgrimsson, who was quite a famous Viking. He was known to be a very fierce warrior, in his story. I think he was one of the ones who was involved in Vinland or America and things like that. He went and did all of these kind of epic fights and all of these kind of things. But what else was I going to say about these guys? Yeah, so yeah, the Borg Brugghús was started as a kind of idea. Their staff were very, very creative, and so they wanted to actually let them produce little craft beers and things, and this was how Borg Brugghús was established.
So it's actually like a subdivision and not just the big brewery bought them and incorporated them.
That's cool. But the thing is, their beers are, very, very solid. And the head brewer is Valge Valgersson. And he's a really talented brewer, but he was originally the head brewer at another brewery which is called Ulvesholt, which it's out near Selfoss a little bit to the east. It's pretty much bang in the middle of nowhere. It's another one of these kind of farm breweries, and it's a woman that's actually brewing for them now. But yeah, he brewed. There's a famous beer, if you ever see it, and you might well see it here actually, if you ever see a beer that's called Ulvesholt Lava, that's one I really recommend you try from Iceland. That's like their kind of pinnacle imperial stout.
Cool.
But the special thing about this beer is this guy comes in at 9%, so this is a bit lighter than the other one. This is brewed with a special malt that we were chatting about earlier called, I think the word they would call is Tadriktur in Iceland. So it's basically it's the malt that they smoke it with the smoke that's filtered through sheep shit. So what you might notice with this is it's
roasted shit.
Yeah, it's they've actually got a golden ale that has this as well, which is called Fenley of Tadrick.
That's with the P.
But
that was the lowest hanging fruit. I'm sorry, I had to.
But this guy is like it's one of the most interesting imperial stouts I think you're going to come.
I'm really excited to try this.
I mean, they filter the smoke through sheep shit. They use that to smoke the malt. Very traditional, ancient Icelandic kind of thing. So again, this is something that I think is very unusual.
Like it's like old, 700-800 years ago Viking style. Like, we have all this shit. What do we do with it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Put the smoke through it.
We got any cheese?
Yeah.
So do you find it's a fairly common pattern for larger breweries, perhaps in Europe or in the Nordic states, to have that sort of like craft division within the larger brewery to do like experimentation, or is this a unique case?
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah.
That's a question. I'll come to I would say there are a few. I mean, in Sweden you have, I think, some of the bigger breweries like Mariestad, you've got Brutal Brewing who are doing a few different beers and stuff like this as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, there's some really interesting stuff going on. But I'm trying to think, Naugna, who were the original Norwegian brewery, they got bought over by one of the big ones, but I can't think of any bigger breweries.
Okay.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, there's what's the name of them? There's the Carlsberg, is it Carlsberg and Brooklyn Brewery own, there's a brewery in Stockholm, and the name's just completely gone, Noa Pecan Mud Pie or something like that.
Huh.
And it's an old light bulb factory. They've recreated this whole, they've renovated this whole light bulb factory and made it into things. And that's probably the closest one I can think of. But if any of you guys are watching and know any breweries that have, any of the big breweries that have a kind of craft division, if you like, let us know in the comment section below. That would be really interesting.
Yeah, that's like an interesting pattern from a business standpoint to like have your like cash money beers that just basically like everybody drinks and that's how you make your profit, and then just kind of like turn some of that profit.
Well, it's genius if you think about it, because you might make the next big thing.
Right, exactly.
That's big old money making.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's filter it through sheep shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, just smell this one first.
It smells like a barn. Like a barn and chocolate.
It does actually.
Like chocolate and a barn.
Yeah.
It's different. It's definitely unique to these other beers we've had in terms of the smell.
Yeah. So it's got that,
Almost like there's a little bit of jerkiness to it.
I'll say hay.
Hay and jerky, yes.
I mean, it's you see with this one, it's because the thing that's always interesting about the smoked beers, German smoked beers are always very meaty. Whereas and obviously whiskies and things, you talk about smoked whiskies, and the Scottish smoked malt styles, it's peat, it's a bit more earthy and slightly almost grassy a little bit.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
We're sculling here too, right?
Yeah, Skal.
Or Skal, yeah.
Yeah, or Skal. I actually don't know what the correct pronunciation. I think it is Skal. I think they should say, because it's got a little accent on it. It's got a little dash above it, so I think it is like Skal.
With a smiley face, happy little accident.
Yeah. But yeah, just beautiful smelling beer. I mean, you've got chocolate.
Yeah, there's definitely a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Amongst the barn, there's sweetness.
But yeah,
if you look hard enough, anyone can find sweetness in the barn.
But all those cow pads, it's just like that one little Hershey's chocolate bar. You're like, oh damn.
Or you.
I mean, I'd put myself out on a limb here and say that out of the aromas tonight, I think this is the, almost saving the best for last.
This is
the most intriguing. Yeah. This is the most like, I'm American and I'm a fat kid. And so like
my inner fat kid is pleased by this.
My outer fat kids. But like, and then this is fantastic as well. Like all of them have a smell.
Have been interesting.
Great so far. This is the most unique. It's not bad, but it definitely reminds me of like my time working on the zoo sort of thing. Like,
you worked out the zoo?
I did.
Did you? I did. Get the fuck out of here. What were you doing?
Shoveling up crap.
You weren't making beer?
Well, I shoveled it on top of a bunch of smoke factories.
Well, see, you missed the business opportunity.
I did.
It
was too young.
Yeah. But yeah, Skal to the final beer of the video.
Beer.
Cheers. And thank you to you guys for watching, of course.
Thanks for putting up with us.
As I say, peer pressure these guys to come out of retirement.
Yeah, you can tweet us and stuff.
Do we have a Twitter?
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, I think we still have the domain and everything. We haven't. Yeah, I'm still paying for the domain, so you can go to our website if you want.
Oh yeah, our website's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, it is.
like we play a video in the background. It's super. It's like future style.
It's like the future.
I've
It's the future. We're 2008.
It stopped 2 years ago.
I used to watch your videos religiously when they published, but I've never seen your website.
Yeah,
to
and
check
I
that,
don't think
actually.
anyone has.
I think we mostly put it up just to stop anyone else from, if we ever got big, someone stealing it.
Man,
Wow.
yeah, that is like a real, like, I don't even know how to describe that.
There's a hint of like the barn is on fire flavor, but I'm basking in the burning barn. It's really good.
It's just a beautiful beer, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah.
It's like a little bit sour,
A little bit.
a little bit like
Cheers.
What's that?
grassiness, I think, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah. We need to keep these bottles, I think, as a memento. I
Agreed.
think
Yeah.
this is a cool...
Yeah, this is probably
This is
the
awesome.
most complex one.
For sure.
The other one was close. This guy,
Mm.
yeah, it was also quite complex. But this is sour and sweet and barn on fire. Like, you're saying, like all of those things.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean, it's really just a beauty. I mean, it's got, for me, it's got the smokiness, you've got the earthy hops, you've got a bit of chocolate, you've got a bit of brown sugar.
This one in the same realm as, it's almost like the first and the third were in this realm of where I said you can't really have too many all at once or too much all at once because it'd be overpowering. This is almost in the same realm, but instead of it being overpowering, it's almost like it would be a waste. There's so much going on in this that if you were to drink too much of this at once, I think you wouldn't be focusing on all the little bits like you should be.
Yeah.
There's so much going on that if you're just drinking this, it's a total waste without like really living in the moment with this beer. There's so much happening, you kind of got to reflect on it.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure how easy this beer is to get anymore either, because I think I've had these two sitting for you for over a year.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. I think I just bought these and thought, right, this is ones that I want you guys to try. Yeah, I think I've had this one and that one for over a year. These three have been bought fairly recently. I don't know how easy that is to get in Iceland at the moment. But yeah, no, just thought this was one that we should.
Oh, this is fantastic. Thank you. This has been a journey, and it's like places I never thought I'd go. So never expected to be.
Never expected to drop my fair trade cocoa bar in the dirt of a barn.
Then set it on
Have
fire
a sheep
and drink
like,
it.
stomp on it a little bit and then pick it up and be like, that's probably still alright. Just chomp right down on that and here we are.
Yeah. You can feel the booze going to your head.
Yeah.
after all of these
Oh, I'm
drinks.
definitely not sober after all of this. That's for sure.
Ooh.
But yeah, I think this is one. It's just a really well balanced beer, isn't it? But I think a lot of the complexity in this is actually coming from the Tadric to the sheep shit malts, isn't it? It's just the further into the aftertaste you go, I think you're getting the earthiness is there, but the earthiness is kind of like sweetening up, and it's almost like it's becoming a bit more woody and grassy, isn't it? I think, yeah. But yeah, this one, as we said, this one's almost fighting a little bit between the roastiness and the sweetness.
Yeah.
And this one's doing the same thing, but in a slightly different way. But the smoky flavours, I think, are quite
It's fighting
strong.
over the two, but then there's a sheep just like buying in your face the whole time.
Well, the thing you have to watch for in Iceland when you're driving around is that you don't hit one of the bastards.
You might get beer out of it.
You might get dinner out of it as well.
That too, yeah.
But yeah,
And a
we
new coat.
nearly hit a few sheep when we were driving around there, and that's seriously one thing I recommend you do if you go to Iceland. Rent a car, 4 days, drive around the place. You'll never see another place like that.
Rent the sheep plow attachment. All cars come with them. It costs a little extra, but it's worth it because the sheep just fly right over you. Don't have to stop.
Yeah, just get some Bodhi Sears and then you've got dinner as well.
Yeah.
got a barbecue.
Is that where, this might just be another tangent, but is this where Sigur Rós is?
Yeah.
Because they just did their last
Sigur Rós,
album,
yeah.
Sigur Rós, and their last album was just driving around, wasn't it? And so like, all their songs are named after geographic, like the latitude and longitudes, and so it's just a song they wrote based on being in that area. And so that's the whole album, is you never know what's what, because it's just numbers and whatever, but they did that, and it was apparently awesome, so.
Yeah, no, I really like them as a band, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really, I mean, there's some really, really good Icelandic music. I like Skalmo, the kind of folk metal band. They're awesome as well. But,
did you not save a little bit for the end? Do you not remember how we do this?
There's like a whole bunch of little in the.
You're just gonna like, Shirley Temple the end of this.
I will find a little of something to wrap things up.
Yeah, no, so yeah, just that I think is the most complex beer.
That was an awesome way to end it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I guess a couple of questions for you then before we go. So, Japan, the Japan beer scene. Last couple of years, I think the last review we filmed here was 2016.
Yeah, that sounds
so.
Right.
In that time, and I guess your favourite Japanese breweries, I guess, just go for it. What would you recommend that people look out for?
It's going to be the same answer as the last time, probably. I'll let you go first.
I wanted you to go first. You started talking and I was like, sweet, time to think.
The same thing we probably said last time, Mino.
Mino's a fantastic one.
Answer. Tamura Honten, the Shigakogen guys, is still an easy answer. Man, I had a raspberry Kolsch at a bar last night that was tremendous, and I have no idea what the brewery was, but it was a Japanese brewery. I'll have to look it up and I'll send it to James, and maybe he'll put it in the description. That's all I got right now.
It's the scene's absolutely exploded
There's
in the
so
past
much,
2 years.
Yeah, the past 2 years, it's continued to grow in the sense that like there's way more smaller breweries sprouting up, which is I think a positive sign for the.
It's a positive sign. I'm worried in the direction it's being handled almost.
Why?
It just doesn't seem like we're going for quantity over quality almost. Like it's not like anything's bad, but it's just like there's nothing standing out. And so that's why, like, my thought is to go back to the Mino or whatever. There's nothing, where it's just like, this is an old established one and it's great. You're not getting really a lot of these outstanding beers. There have been a couple.
Fujisakura has gotten
much better.
Distribution, and they have a canner now apparently. So like, you can get like different. They're experimenting with different styles of beer. Not just German stuff, which is cool.
That'd be cool to try, actually.
Yeah.
One other name I'd throw in there that's a bit established is Izakadoya.
Yeah.
Izakadoya, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, like, Scotland is still great. They still have good ones.
Ushitora has been generally
Ushitora is getting better and better.
Yeah, they experiment more than some of the other ones. And with not always success, I think, or not always notable success, but at least they're experimenting.
Same with like Blue Magic.
I don't know Blue Magic.
They did one of the when we did the Porter video where it was the collaboration for Double Craft, all the 6 beers.
Oh yeah.
They were one of them.
Okay.
And like at the time I thought they weren't great. Sorry, John. But like they've gotten way better since then, and like some of the stuff now has been fantastic.
Okay, I don't know about this.
Yeah. So I mean,
sweet,
good stuff's popping up. I think a lot of the more interesting things that we're trying, and maybe it's just us because we're like adapted to the Western likes and dislikes, have foreign influence, and maybe a lot of that, like I said earlier, is coming because there's none of that home brewing scene really.
Yeah.
But there is some good stuff popping up.
I'm just noticing the camera is moaning about its memory card, so maybe we have to.
We gotta wrap.
Oh shit! Okay.
Wrap up. Yeah. But very quickly, best beer bars in Tokyo then.
For Japanese beers, a place called Tap Tap opened up a little while ago. And that's in Konda, and that like focuses on Japanese beers. They've got a lot going, and they give you a mug if you finish off the tap, and
Oh, I didn't know
nice.
that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I got a Pollander mug. It has nothing to do with like any beer that you can serve.
Yeah.
But no, they're a great one that's focusing on the Japanese market.
Beerma has a new branch in wherever that is. I forget where we were that one.
Konda?
Yeah, also in Konda.
For some reason, Konda, just
Konda's a
everyone
good place
decided
for
to
beer.
go there. It sucks. I wish they'd spread out a bit more.
So I work in Roppongi, and so Anton B is like the most
Anton
obvious
B's
place.
another
And like
fantastic
everyone
one.
who comes to visit me at my office, we go to Anton B, and they love it, and they continue to go there. So I can't recommend that place highly enough. Although there's another place called Two Dogs Tap Room, which I had been once before, and I wasn't particularly impressed with. But I was there again yesterday, and they were awesome, and they had an incredible selection of stuff. And that's where I had the raspberry Kolsch last night. So I will give a shout out to Two Dogs Tap Room.
Nice.
Thank you for accommodating us yesterday.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so I guess because the camera is deciding to moan, we should wrap it up. But thank you for coming out of retirement for this
pleasure.
video. It's been awesome to
Thank
have
you for all the
guys
beers.
again.
Thank you,
sir. But yeah, no, as I say, in the comment section below, peer pressure to get these guys to come out of retirement permanently. As I say,
We couldn't be bothered to read our own comments. So we'll have to get James to
read James's comments.
but yeah, no, it's been great to review some more beers.
No, man, it's been a pleasure.
As we
This has been
said,
fantastic.
around the Nordics in 5 beers. Really interesting review to do. I think we've all enjoyed it, and it's
For
been
sure.
nice to chill again. So I think
Yeah.
we're going to go and chill a little bit, drink some more, and
Finish the dregs and drink some more.
Yeah.
enjoy the rest of our night. But yeah, to you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you again for all your support, and I'm sure I'll be back in Tokyo over the next just random amounts of time. So and I'm sure we'll film videos.
We'll be out of retirement again then.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, no, thank you again for watching, guys. Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Iceland all represented.
Oh, there
Until
you
the
go.
next time, Slanja just now, Skull,
Slanja, Kampai,
Slanja, Skull,
cheers,
Kampai.
all that, skull.
Cheers, y'all.
Slanja.
Cheers.
Boom.